if you're thinking about car sellers, they've been educating people over years so that when they finally get the money, they choose to go for a BMW or an Audi or whatever. There's elements you have to look at. So if you're selling a makeup brand and there's lots of other makeup brands, you've got to sort of educate them on why it's different. How does it help? Does it improve your complexion? Or maybe you've got allergies and things, but they're not going to necessarily believe you just because you put an advert in their face for 10 seconds on Facebook on Tuesday night. It needs to be building up. Make sure that you've got, because you can do this even now, make sure you've got as much pictures on things like Instagram, make sure you've got coverage on TikTok, Facebook, especially if you're using Facebook ads, because they kind of correlate then. Because people like to do a bit of research on you, all of that really. I think you just need to make your overall persona.
Yeah, so my top tip would be get to grip with your finances, because at the end of the day, I don't know anybody who set up a business and they're just uber wealthy and they can just afford to do it as a hobby. So unless your business is your hobby, get to grip with your finances. Make sure that you have got accurate actuals coming out your accounts, because you're going to make bad decisions based on incorrect data if you don't. And then make sure you get yourself a forecast. Even if it's a really loose plan, just understand what are your goals for the business, where do you want the business to move to. And it's amazing how many people, once they've got a plan, how they start to move towards it. But then businesses who have no plan at all and they're just firefighting every day, you've got to be really proactive in your business if you want to grow it. You've got to start thinking about, well, how am I going to achieve that goal?
But I often say, drop me a DM or let me know in the comments if there's anything you'd like to see us discuss. And 1 in 10 is always oh, that's actually a wicked idea. I never thought of that. I'll 100% use that. So yeah, some of my best episodes have come from the community giving me suggestions on what to talk about. And then that sparked a memory oh, do you know what? Now that you've said that, I remember a time when this happened and I'm going to work that into a story. Or I've just got something in the mail, a new toy that it would actually be perfect to represent what you're talking about. So yeah, I love when people give me ideas. I'll never be one of them that's just so closed-minded that they only want to talk about what they've thought up. I like ideas. I always I think there's a difference between opening yourself to criticism when you because sometimes you don't want that. Sometimes you just want to make something and put it out, and you can criticize it after, but I hate being criticized midway through creating something when you're so in the zone. I don't always want that, but definitely when it comes to ideas and things, I'm always open to ideas. I might think it's rubbish and not use it, but I still always like to hear an idea.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you think about why they came to you in the first place, that kind of highlights either the problem that they're experiencing, the struggle, or the outcome that they want to get. So it's I can't find something to wear. Then think about, was there anything that your customer was holding them back from buying from you as well? Because when you understand what hesitations they had, if they're thinking, oh, actually, it's really expensive, if you know the reason why it's got a higher price point, so it could be British made, or it could be really good quality ingredients or material if it's a dress, then you can put that front and center in your communications, so they're understanding why it is a high price point.
I'm not a big believer in people just keeping all your eggs in one basket anyway.
Yeah.
For me, I always saw Amazon as great for starting out, to get sales in, for sales, direct sales, but never been great for brand building. So I would always recommend any business to kind of have their own website anyway, ideally custom built or with Shopify, which then they have a different payment merchant. Because Amazon takes a lot in terms of the fees. If you look at the amount Amazon takes, yes, it's great because you're generating enough great sales, but it should be a short-term strategy, not a long-term one. I would never want to rely on a third party to control the majority of my business, because as I said, they can change the rules at any time, and there's less you can do about it. So I always recommend you have your own website.
So some of the things to look out for if you want to optimise your product page are, do you offer free shipping? Okay. What is the return policy? Are there warranties, upgrades, add-ons that somebody could add on if they're buying that product? Are there customer testimonials, reviews that you could display on that page? And they're just a few ways that can help your product page be a little bit different and to really not convince, but assure somebody that this is going to be the best product for what they want it for. And I've talked about helpful content quite a bit, and for me SEO is just being logical and having content that's useful. And I think sometimes we can get so overwhelmed by the word search engine optimization, or I really don't know what to do, but actually everyone, if with that understanding, can do work on their SEO. And I think it's really important just to take a look at the results, take a look at what you're doing, compare, and what can you do.
If you're an owner and you're looking backwards all the time, it's difficult then to keep looking forwards and knowing where you want to get to. And it's important to keep moving. Momentum is massive in business. If you're not moving forward in your thinking and in your business and in your results, you're either stagnating or falling backwards. And when that starts to happen, it becomes more difficult to, create and get that momentum going. So yeah, all of those things and all of those challenges.
And how have you found staying motivated? Do you have bad days as well as the good days?
I mean, I think everyone does as an entrepreneur, but I mean, I think it's always great to to have a co-founder, to have someone that's going on that journey with you. And we've got a great team of people around us, so that definitely helps to to bring everyone together. And also, I think the other thing that keeps you motivated is just speaking to customers. So every day, when just this morning we had a new customer that wants to sign up with us, and that really helps to keep us motivated. And obviously with insurance, really claims, we always talk about that being the shop window for insurance. So when you've paid a claim, then it really shows why the business exists.
Yeah. Or is it that there are no shortcuts really?
Do you know what? It's a really interesting one. So you can do things quickly, you can learn fast, you can learn from your mistakes. Sometimes doing things quickly and it failing can actually be helpful. And then there's the opposite end of the scale where you take too long and you procrastinate and you don't get things done. So there is the in between. But I think we use a lot of colour psychology in what we do. So you can look online and find out what colours will create certain emotions. So you'll see red a lot in sales. So the big sales stickers, 50% off, they're all red and white. Or on coming back to e-commerce on websites, sometimes that button to buy is red, or because red just triggers urgency. So sometimes colour theory, sprinkling some of that in.
I think they need an accountant from day one, definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think it's important that they find somebody that can do everything for them as well and get it all under one roof. Because we've worked with clients. We've picked up clients where they've had a bookkeeper do one thing and an accountant, and it's just messy. Nothing aligns.
Yeah, I think definitely, as Emma said, get somebody from day one. Get somebody that will cover everything. From my perspective, if we're trying to help a business owner to grow and to achieve their life goals, the foundations of that is the bookkeeping. That's the biggest thing. And like Emma said, the amount of mess that we've seen that has come from people who actually claim to be a bookkeeper, but they're a bit of this and a bit of that. There might be a VA, there might be a bookkeeper, they might do some telephone sales. They're not experienced or qualified maybe in what they're delivering. But the bookkeeping is the foundation to everything. If that's not right, when you're looking at monthly management accounts or doing some cash flow forecasting, it just throws everything out. So actually you're looking at rubbish data and it's giving you rubbish information. Ask to speak to some of their clients, see how the accountant works with those clients, and maybe look for somebody that specialises in your industry. Not every accountant's niche. We don't niche in terms of a particular sector, but we do niche in that mentality, as Emma mentioned earlier. So have a look at accountants and see what it is that they offer. Take advice, but do it from day one.